It's time for the show that brings the magic right to your speakers. Ears up!
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It's Ears Up Podcast. Here we go. We're recording for November, and I feel pretty good about that. With me is Beverly, of course.
Hello.
Taryn is not here right now, but she'll be right back. And then welcome back to Terrence.
Hi.
We missed you on the last show, bud.
Yeah, I know. I was in the chat the whole time, but you know that whole responsibilities and kids thing. You know how that goes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's why we just hire a babysitter. I've never actually seen my child.
You have a kid?
I think that's what I've been told.
Okay.
I just write the check, dude. I don't know.
I understand.
Yeah.
You're a modern dad.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, man. I was on the phone with the bank today because excuse me, God, some little hot sauce hit the old back of the throat, dude.
Yeah.
And whoa, what just happened?
That was me. Sorry.
Wow, you're cranking my volume, Ray.
Sorry.
Hold on, I need a bit.
Keep broken.
Jesus Christ.
It's from the chicken and the sauce. And
I'll cut it out though. We're better.
Do you ever do that?
I do.
Okay.
Sometimes,
Okay.
not really. So I was on the phone with the bank today, and I had to feed my kid. So I'm sitting there, and I'm on the phone with the bank on speakerphone. I'm on hold, like I'm feeding Alice, and I'm talking to this dude, and she's like starting to blow bubbles and just mess with her food. So she starts doing one of these. And I'm like, bro, for like 5 minutes.
Nice.
And I'm just like, I'm sorry, man. I'm feeding my kid. He's like, oh man, don't worry about it. It's fine. And then he transferred me to this gal, and she starts doing the same thing.
Oh, I thought you were saying a gal started doing the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm like, what's wrong with her?
She's playing back and forth. It was really weird, but I was like, this is what you got to do. I don't know. I'm
Exactly.
working from home. This is the only time I have literally to call you. So
Right.
reverse my overdraft fees, please. Which I can't believe that's still a thing.
I know.
Overdraft fees, like, dude, I'm giving you my business of all the myriad bank that are available for me to Patreonize, Patrosness.
To Patron.
Thank you. To drink Patron at?
Yes, exactly.
In the parking lot
Yeah.
of. You're going to charge me overdraft fees, dude? Come on.
Right. I feel you, dude.
But, it is what it is. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us, everybody. Before we get into the show topic and all the kind of stuff we do, I want to welcome back GetAwayToday.com as a sponsor of this show. This episode is sponsored by GetAwayToday.com, Disney's top wholesale partner. They will help you plan your Disneyland vacation with the best tips and secrets, all while making it affordable with their discounted tickets, reduced hotel rates, and layaway plan. Get over to GetAwayToday.com/earsup. You'll save an extra $10 in your SoCal vacation package if you tell them Ears Up sent you. They do a lot of offers. They had a big thing for Black Friday, and I wish I would have seen the thing before we recorded.
Yeah.
But sign up for their email newsletters
Yeah.
because you actually do save a lot of money.
Yeah. And they're super nice.
Super nice people.
I ran into them on my last trip.
No,
I
you
ran-
didn't. Really?
Yeah, I ran into Lexi.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there was like a convention of Getaway Today people, and like I was like, there's 4 more people with Getaway Today lanyard, and there's another, and they have on
Lanyards.
shirts.
Don't
I'm like,
they know
what
about Coviers?
I was like, what's
Would've been
going
so
on?
much better.
Right. So I was like, what's going on? And so I just happened to stop like a gaggle of them by Big Thunder Mountain. I'm
A
like,
gaggle, not a murder.
No, a
but a
gaggle.
gaggle. All right.
So I'm like, so what's going on? Like, what's going on with all the Getaway Today stuff? They go, oh, we're having our team event here. And I said,
We're just very passive aggressive. We want everyone to leave right now, today.
Right.
Get away.
Get away today. And so I was like, oh, well, I know. I just want to thank you guys. I'm part of Ears Up. She goes, oh my gosh, I'm Lexi. I'm like, I'm Terrence. She's like, oh my gosh, you're Terrence. I'm like, yeah, I know, I just said that. But no, it was really, they're super nice, like
Awesome.
extremely friendly, good people. Please patron them.
Yes, drink
Please.
Patron in their parking lot.
Please do.
how is it that Terrence always runs into people?
You know why?
To
Because
the-
I talk to people.
This is true. This is
Okay,
correct.
you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, I don't try. But
I'd like to think that I can communicate with another human being.
But
and
that
yeah.
and but I mean other like you talk to people with churros. You see people with churro shirts. I actively look for people with churro. I've never seen another person in the
Homie.
parks wearing a churro shirt.
Homie, so
Never.
I'm with I was with Brittany and Maddie. Brittany from we interviewed her the college program.
Right.
And then her friend Maddie, and so we're walking in DCA to go get a drink from the holiday Festival of Holiday. One of their things. I think we got some sangria or something. Or no, whatever we got.
$12 sangria.
So we're walking that way, and there's someone walking towards us with a churro shirt on, and Brittany goes, "Hey, nice shirt." And he goes, "Thanks." And I looked at her, and I was like, he don't know who we are. There's no way he got one of those knockoff China brand. He didn't get the authentic, real deal one like what we got. So
Maybe.
yeah. So even if you see someone with the churro shirt on,
A churro shirt.
a churro shirt doesn't matter.
I
You probably
wonder-
don't know
Doesn't
us.
matter.
Because it's on our Etsy page, so I wonder how many people who purchase the churro shirts actually know about the podcast. I don't. What 25%, maybe 45%. I
Yeah.
don't think it's that many.
Right.
You
That
send
much.
the shirts, right? They don't
No.
come from Etsy land.
No, not anymore. So I got because the it was costing me. God, what was the last invoice? $750 to print up the large, medium large, extra large shirts.
Right.
3 colors, have them in stock. That's a lot of dough. I still have some, and I haven't ordered them in a year and a half.
Right.
Wow.
So I found a place online that will ship them for me. Will
I
print
remember
them
you
and
talking
ship them
about
for me, which is great because not only does it open it up for different colors, but different sizes and juniors and women's and all the
Yeah.
stuff that I've always wanted to have more women's shirts in, but I would cost me $4,000 to have everything in stock that I want.
That's a lot of surplus of inventory.
too-
You don't
it's
want
too
that.
much.
You don't want that. Yeah.
Especially with it being a small business, and I don't have the room for all that.
Right.
But I
Right.
want to be able to offer it because people keep asking for it. I'm like,
Right.
okay, so I had to partner with another company, but they're great, and they ship the shirts out and they're print on demand. So it takes maybe a couple days longer, but yeah. So I don't touch them anymore, which is nice.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, we don't make nearly as much, but I'm okay with it. I kind of don't care.
Less work.
It's less work, and it's a cool logo. I just want everyone to be wearing churro shirts. I don't,
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. Anyway, but I wonder. Just very curious, how many people know about the show?
Well, probably not many.
Probably not many. Today, speaking of shows, we're going to be talking about the Destination D recap, which was a what is that, Terrence? An event that they held to kind of just pat themselves on the back.
Yeah, I think it went along with
I'm
like the whole D23 thing. And
Yeah.
So
So basically, just announcing a bunch of stuff that's coming up in Disneyland and Disney World and the
Mm-hmm.
parks, just kind of in general. A little more detail in Star Wars Land, which, by the way, in doing research for the show, I'm so glad and happy and excited that everybody everywhere is referencing Disney as Star Wars Land,
yeah,
not Guardians of the Galaxy's Edge or whatever it is.
something like that, right?
What is it?
Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
Very easy to say. Star Wars Land. Everywhere.
That's what it is.
It's so good. I love it so much. The only place that ever says Galaxy's Edge is the
Is
Disney,
Disney.
blog. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, so we'll be talking a little bit about that as well. Terrence, I believe you have a movie review.
I do.
Let me make a note of that because I kind of forgot. Movie review.
Guess who doesn't have a window?
Beverly.
Beverly.
Hell yeah. And then tonight, if you are a Patreon supporter, you can go to our Patreon page right now. Actually, you can just become one for $5. And we're going to be doing Secret Show.
Mm-hmm.
And that link is already in there for you Patreon folks.
I'm proud of you.
Hopefully, we'll be starting around 9:30. I know this doesn't mean anything to podcasters,
I'm
but
proud of you.
thanks, man. I appreciate that very much. But we have a good show. I'm pretty stoked about it. You can find us on social media, of course, Facebook, all the things. Any feedback goes to Taryn at earsup-podcast.com. Any show suggestions or guest suggestions, Terrence?
Please, my email is dry. Please send us ideas. Please send me something. Please let me know that you still love us. Please.
Yes.
Thank you.
You can say hi to
Hi.
Bev. Hi.
I'm trying to change it up, man.
Yeah?
Keeping it fresh.
Sounds like you're going to try to sell me a dime bag or a car. I don't know. And you can send anything else to me, Jason, earsup-podcast.com. As Terrence mentioned, yeah, man, we're looking for interviews. We're looking for suggestions. I mean, this is show number 126.
Wow.
It's insane.
with everybody here having families and full-time jobs.
Yeah.
It's really hard to come up with stuff. So we have a lot of different ideas and stuff like that to move the show forward and whatever. But I want to know what you guys want to hear. Speaking of upcoming shows, we have a really good guest coming up for one of our December shows.
I just thought about his name.
Okay. The great Garner Holt will be on with us at Ears Up podcast. And if you don't know who Garner Holt is, that's fine. But he's like the dude when it comes to animatronics.
Yes.
You can go to GarnerHolt.com and go to the portfolio gallery, and here's images of every, probably not every, but a lot of examples of the animatronics that he's done. All sorts of stuff. You're going to recognize a ton of Disney items in there. He did the animatronics, apparently, it looks like, for Harry and the Hendersons.
Nice.
Because he's right there. So here, I was looking at, here's like a slideshow, and I'll just read you off the characters that he's definitely done for Disney, at least. He's done Sebastian in the Little Mermaid ride.
Okay.
His company did those animatronics. Some of the Small World dolls. Alice in Wonderland is right there. Jack Skellington, the big Jack Skellington in the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay. When you're coming
down
when you're coming backwards, and he's in the Santa suit.
Awesome.
That's Garner Holt right there. He did figures for Monsters Inc. That one's blank. He did the dragon apparently for Fantasmic.
Yeah, that's awesome,
dude. It's crazy. Just have a poke around there. He does a lot of stuff for Universal. If you remember I was like a year ago maybe, I think, we were talking about the realistic Lincoln head. That's Garner Holt.
Yeah.
Where like the eyes roll back in the head, like it's a whole thing. Chuck E. Cheese, here's an army of Chuck E. Cheese figures. That's pretty cool. Anyway, so I'm really excited to talk to Garner about I don't even know what. We just kind of got confirmation tonight. So I'm going to do a lot of research on what he's done. And I mean, as much as Disney was a game changer for animation, I think he was a game changer for theme parks and for animatronics.
Exactly, yeah.
So we'll
Dude's
be
a legend.
talking to Garner about that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm more than excited. Then we have some Disney news. But here, let me get through all the stuff we have to do. If you want to support the show, you can go to getcoverears.com. You go to patreon.com/earsup, become a Patreon supporter. But more importantly, tell your friends about us. If you're in any one of those Facebook groups or forums or whatever, make sure that they know you listen to Ears Up Podcast and ask them to do it too, because spreading the word is how we survive here. If you do any kind of internet shopping moving into the Christmas season, you can use our Amazon link. It's on the homepage there, and click on that, and it helps us out a lot for sure. Don't forget, we do have Heather on blog posts, writing some blog posts, our food correspondent. Heather's doing a great job.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I want to think she'll be getting down before the end of the year, but I don't know that to be true. But I wish she would, because there's a lot of cool stuff going on food wise. And then a few things we didn't cover from last show, and I wish Taryn was here to talk about it, but she's dealing with Alice. Some sleep regression thing. I don't know what's going on. There are a few things, Terrence, coming back to Downtown Disney.
Okay.
Because if you recall, the hotel was coming, Disney kicked a bunch of people out. Earl of Sandwich reopened pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And they're in the
It's
same
just
place.
back.
They're in the same place. And to me, they're busier than they've ever been.
I know.
It's crazy.
I know.
ESPN Zone's coming back.
No.
But not as ESPN Zone.
Okay, thank you.
It's something else. It's not going to be called ESPN Zone, but it's the same format. Same thing. Arcade up top.
I was
all
going
that
to
kind
say,
of stuff. It's coming back.
Is it still going to be a sports bar?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they just put those new TVs out there that only have that are 7 pixels instead of 2.
Yeah.
So I mean,
which are still running, which is kind of like who's in control of those?
I don't know.
Someone unlock the door, go in and turn it off. Which I thought was pretty cool.
but the heads don't move, although they only kind of work.
No, that's on the wall there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited about that. It's good for something to come back.
Rainforest Cafe is coming back.
I figured that would. Yeah.
As the Rainforest Cafe.
As the Rainforest Cafe.
Nobody likes the Rainforest.
A lot of people
do.
love the Rainforest Cafe.
The food's terrible.
Yeah.
It is. But it's a place to go.
It's a
just
place to go. Yeah. Anyway, we heard some people. Apparently, a lot of the chefs in Downtown Disney kind of. But nice alarm, Beverly. It's kind of the restaurant.
It was Taryn, by the way.
No, the restaurant industry is kind of incestuous anyway. So
Right.
everyone shares jobs, and apparently everyone who worked at the Rainforest Cafe, who still works in downtown Disney, got emails like last month saying that we're opening, I think January, but I don't know.
I know. So
Anyway,
I wonder.
no one's reporting on that. I tweeted it as soon as I heard about it, but that was like a couple weeks ago.
So weird.
Well, here's my question: is Run Disney coming back?
I
Now
would
they're not building that hotel.
I would assume so.
I would assume so too,
would
and I
assume
can't
so.
wait for it.
I know. I think it would be great if it did. You can't wait
You're
for
like-
it.
you're
We
like-
could do. I just did a 5K on Thanksgiving. We can do another
Where?
one.
With what?
The turkey trot in Hercules. With what? With my legs?
Well, I mean, like with what regards to certain group? I don't know, like what group? Some church group?
No, just my next door neighbor, Sunshine and Andrea. They said that they wanted to.
I've never seen that show. It's like an ABC buddy sitcom.
It came on right after Two Guys and a Girl in a Pizza Place. But so Sunshine and Andrea, they're both runners, and they're like, hey,
4 preteens and a box of crayons. Coming up next on Fox.
But no, they wanted to do it, and so she bought my entry in like June and said, okay, we're doing it. So we did it, and it was fun.
Yeah.
But imagine we should do a Disney one before. We should make
I've
sure
done
that
one.
everyone who is on
Oh.
the show goes and does a Disney run with us.
If we do a Disney run for the show, I will buy the entry. I shouldn't say that because we have no
we're
money.
broke.
But I would encourage everyone to go.
Give fair. You can encourage away.
Nah, I think we should make it mandatory. I think it'd be fun.
Oh, and if you don't, you get canned. You get fired
That's
from the
not
show.
much of a threat for her. I don't know. Would you be okay with that?
Rude.
It was fun though. I enjoyed it.
No, it looked fun.
I like the one that we
okay.
did. It was cool. We didn't
tried-
run the consistently. We run it and then we stopped it.
And then you stopped it.
Yeah.
I think that I don't like running, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
But I have like a lot of like runner's shame because I remember talking about years ago, I was gonna do a 5K and I remember talking about it at work and being like, yeah, I'm gonna, and I don't run ever.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I gotta train. I gotta train up a little bit for this 5K. And one of the doctors I worked with was like, you don't train for a 5K. Like, who does that? And I was like, oh,
Yeah, you do.
well, now I'm not doing it ever, you dirty,
Jerk.
dirty jerk.
Yeah, dude, I had to train. Taryn and I
Yeah,
trained
I trained
because
too.
we don't run. I don't run.
You need to build up your wind.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got winded walking to my car today.
Well, granted, it was up like a 85-degree slope from your house up to the car, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I would do it again. I hope they bring it back.
Yeah.
I don't see why they wouldn't. It's
But I
a
don't
money.
have
It's a
the
huge
pass
money maker.
anymore.
Well,
Yeah, you
that's
don't need
true.
a pass to do the run.
That's also true. You can go to Knott's Berry Farm.
No.
Also, we went into the World of Disney, that big store they have there, and it's redone. It's revamped. And you like it?
Yeah, I
I
liked
hate it.
I hate it also.
I liked it.
Hated it.
Yeah, and we never talked about that. It looks like a mall. It looks like just a mall. Like, I don't know. There's more space. There's a lot of T-shirt displays. Like,
Yeah,
but
I
they
thought
look
that
like
they had like less cool stuff though.
they have less cool stuff, more T-shirts. Not all were great, and they kind of just look like a Target like situation. It just I don't know. It was kind of blah. I thought the other one had a lot of personality. I don't know. That's it. That's all I want to talk about. But we didn't talk about it on that show.
Oh, okay.
All right, Terrence, what's your movie review on, homie?
It's
Let's
on
go.
Cinderella.
Cinderfella.
So, for those of you who don't know what Cinderella is, Cinderella was a movie. It came out about a dozen years after after Bambi. So there was kind of a lull where there weren't any major movies coming out. In my opinion, this is the best of the classic movies. So if
Really?
you look from like Snow White to all the way up until like the Lion King, Little Mermaid era.
Okay.
Era.
Yeah.
I think this is the best of those classic movies.
Really?
Yes.
Cinderella is the best classic Disney movie.
In my opinion, yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think that the story is great. So the story is basically there is Cinderella Tremaine, because her dad was Lord Tremaine and her mother was Lady Tremaine. Cinderella Tremaine was the only kid of a lord. He married a lady who had kids around Cinderella's age. Shortly thereafter, they don't say exactly how, but Cinderella's father dies, and basically her stepmother is jealous of her charm, of her beauty, and makes her a maid to the family for the foreseeable future, basically. And the house becomes shabby. Then
Because she's a terrible maid.
because she's a
She's a
terrible
bad
maid.
maid.
Because she's a horrible maid, right? And the movie basically is about Cinderella overcoming the adversity that she's facing. She's living in what should be her house, but yet she's treated as a servant within her own house.
Okay.
She is, she befriends some animals, some mice and birds and things of that nature, and they kind of act as secondary characters in the story as well. She is invited to, along with all of the eligible maids, as it says, she's invited to the king's castle to throw a party for the returning prince. The king is actually very distraught that the prince has not given him any grandchildren yet, and the prince is probably all of 20. But it is what it is. It's the time.
Yeah, he'll be dead by 40.
Right, exactly.
Imagine being a prince and you're gonna you hear that there's a party being thrown for you,
Right.
grandest in all the kingdom or whatever.
Right.
And all the maids have been invited.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, cool, dude, thanks.
Oh, not okay. So
Preach.
not maids as in what we think about maids today. Just eligible women, eligible young women.
I believe it's maidens.
Right, but the way that they said it in the movie was maids. All
Okay.
the eligible maids.
Hi, Taryn.
Really?
So Cinderella has to construct a dress after she's done with all of the chores. Her sisters see that the mice friends have stolen some of the things that they've discarded that they didn't want anymore, and adorned the dress with them. They're jealous, rip the dress apart. Cinderella can't go to the ball now.
It's like that scene in The Dark Crystal. Well,
I've never seen that movie.
Me either.
Me either.
Thank
Oh my
you.
God.
I was like, are you guys just going to leave me hanging like that? Okay.
Wow. All right.
All right. So anyway,
You think you know a group of people,
it is what it is.
a gang, if you will,
Again,
Gaggle.
gaggle.
a murder.
So basically, her fairy godmother comes in, and this is a part of the movie I don't understand. So she makes the mice into horses and makes the horse into a stagehand. I'm like, why didn't she just leave the horse the way it was? But anyway,
You don't want to leave the horse make the horse feel bad or leave the horse out at all. The horse
true.
gets a transformation too.
okay. Well, I'm just saying.
Not into like a bigger horse.
I'm just saying, a horse is a horse. So
Of course.
Of course.
So goes to goes to the party in her glass slippers. She falls in love with the prince. Prince falls in love with her.
Hold on. I know this isn't what we're talking about, but glass slipper?
But have you ever seen Three Men and a
Right.
Baby?
Like, where did that come from? Like,
So it was changed. I'll talk about it a little bit. It was changed from the earlier concepts of because this is from. I think the first time a story like this was told was like the 7th century BC. So
Okay.
it's a really really old story, and of course adaptations have changed things because at one point it was supposed to be some kind of like almost like a furry animal clog, kind of a weird thing, right?
An
hot.
Ugg.
Could you imagine that? Like he's
Her Ugg came off
But
when
like-
she
Oh my
spilled her
gosh.
pumpkin
Can
spice
you
All right.
latte.
imagine how
Exactly.
much faster she would run if she was able to just have Uggs on instead of glass shoes?
hella basic. But I mean, would you imagine her and then her long dress and these furry little things? Like, nah, I'm good, homie. I'm good.
Kinda.
Right. So anyway, so
She was obviously wearing leggings.
oh my gosh.
Are those shoes or are those your feet? I don't know. That's
And actually, in the original version, she didn't leave a shoe. She left her Starbucks.
their Starbucks card.
Whose is her name on the side? Whose pumpkin spice latte is this?
Mine.
Every hand in the kingdom goes up.
Right. So basically,
My God, have you had it this year? Go ahead.
gosh. So,
So good.
basically, the rest of the movie is the prince's men trying to figure out where she is, who she is. She gets locked into the castle, locked into her tower. The mice break her out. Prince finds out it's her, and then
Yo,
blah,
what
blah,
her
blah,
name
blah,
is.
blah. So that's the movie. Now, for me, like I said, I think this is probably the best of the classics. I think that she has the best voice. If you look at the movie, there was a shift in animation, in my opinion, for what happened to the movie. So if you look at
Okay.
Snow White and Bambi, everything's just kind of bland. Not only the characters themselves, but all the features and the background, everything was kind of bland. Like even watching
This came first, right?
this came after. This
Oh.
came a decade after Bambi.
Oh, okay.
So looking at
I mean, just not as vibrant or kind of
Not
like
as-
all
not as-
sort of
not as-
approaching the same mid-tone kind of.
not as
okay.
detailed. not
Really?
as
Okay.
detailed.
All right.
So, and I rewatched Snow White this week just to make sure I was right about this. And it is like even when she's running through the forest, you can kind of tell what the trees are, but it's not extremely detailed. And with
Yeah.
this movie, everything got really detailed. You could tell that the house was in shambles from the way that they animated everything in the background as well. When she is distraught and runs out, like everything in the night scene looks really like is cavernous. It looks really, really good and really detailed. I enjoyed that a lot. I think that I have, for some of the older movies, I've said that the older movies hold up, but it's a lot to do with nostalgia.
Yeah. Right.
I think that Disney and Pixar is kind of they've kind of spoiled us. So the graphics are going to be really good in the Disney Pixar movies that come out. And a lot of times that overshadows a terrible story. Like everyone thinks that Cars 3 was fantastic, and I don't think it was. I think that
I didn't even know there was a car.
yeah, it was a car. So I don't think it was that great. I think the graphics were great, but you don't have to tell as good of a story if you have something that's good visually. But with these older movies, they needed visuals, and they needed to balance what was said in the dialogue versus what was sung versus what you see visually. And I think this movie did a great job of that. Like I said, okay. So this is the other thing. Sorry. All right.
Compose yourself.
This movie is, for some reason, the movie that is pointed at when it says that this is what's wrong with Disney princess movies.
Right. Yes. It's the one most often cited for
Is
don't be like Cinderella.
Okay.
Just waiting for a man to come and rescue you.
Now that's bull, and I'll tell you why. Snow White, I can understand that, especially since she's singing "One Day My Prince Will Come."
Right.
Get that. Cinderella is a person of somewhat noble birth. She was the daughter of a lord. She has been a servant for, at this point, probably 10, 11, 12 years at this point.
Yeah.
And she's still singing, and she's still happy, and she's still courteous to the people who are basically treating her like a slave. She's still courteous to them. And at no point in the movie do you get that she's waiting for something else. At no point do you get that. Do you get that she's saying, okay, well, when one day
She went to the ball.
but she went to the ball, yes, but she didn't necessarily go to the ball to seek out a man. She went to the ball because she wanted to be normal. She wanted to be able to do what other people are doing. She wanted to be able to actually be treated as someone who is a peer with her siblings instead of someone who is a servant. At no point in this, even when she meets the guy and she leaves, she's not focused on him, like what's going to go on. Am I ever going to get back with him? She just had fun and she bounced.
She
You know what I
dipped.
mean?
She dipped hard.
Right. So I don't view this as being a movie that teaches terrible values. In fact, I view this as being a movie that teaches great values. That no matter what your situation is, you are the one who's in control of what your attitude is. I think that's fantastic in this movie.
Wow.
I could see that.
Look at Papa Terrence over
I
here.
know.
Boom. Drop the mic. I'm
I
done.
like it.
It's on a mic stand. You're not even holding it.
I know.
Illusion broken.
So anyway, overall, I think this movie was fantastic.
Okay.
I think that the songs were great and memorable. I think the scene with the fairy godmother is just extremely cute and a great turning point to the movie. I think it's just a fantastic movie, obviously for any age.
Well, and Gus.
And Gus and
He's like the best character ever.
Gus, I mean, and that was the other thing is that it was cool because
Never seen it.
you've never seen Cinderella?
I mean, maybe once when I was young.
I mean, we haven't seen what the Black Crystal or whatever you
Yes.
just said.
The Black Crystal.
The Dark Crystal.
Sure, that was close. And you judge us, but you've never seen Cinderella.
Yeah. I don't understand what's wrong with that.
That's weird.
Yeah, I know. So do you think it holds up for kids?
It
Come on,
holds up.
superfans.
It holds up. I do have one more thing to say though. It does hold up, but I think the reason why the movie holds up is because it's almost reminiscent of like a sitcom, like a Seinfeld or something like that. But the reason why I say that is because
Jerry, I found this slipper. Jerry.
Stop it.
Who wears glass slippers?
oh, Jeremy's
Oh my
gonna
It's
love
cold.
I hate this
That
show.
is the deal. No, so Jeremy's gonna like that part. But the reason why I say that is
You can
because there's
see the sweat inside the glass slipper.
Yeah, can you imagine the slipping?
Petros.
The reason why I say that it's good and it's like that is because you have multiple stories going at the same time. So you have, instead of Snow White, where it's all about Snow White,
Okay.
you have the story going on between Lucifer the cat and the animals. You have the story going on between Cinderella and the stepsisters. You
Yeah,
have
it's-
stepsisters against each other. You have
Snow
all
White
these stories going on.
Does kind of drag. It
It
did drag
does.
in places because of that, and
Yeah.
that's just stories. They're learning how to tell stories.
Well, that's the thing.
right?
I think with this one, they learned the art of storytelling.
Yeah.
And so it was very good. Also, interesting fact. So Jock and Gus, the two main mice, were voiced by James McDonald, who was also the voice of Mickey Mouse for almost 30 years.
Oh wow.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
so
know
he
that.
can't
That's
get away
cool.
from rodents, I guess. But, so yeah, but that's my review of the movie. I think it's fantastic. I think it holds up.
You think
I
it
have
holds up? You think kids are gonna? They would still.
I
be
think they would still
interested
like
in
it. I think
I
Have
they
your
have
would.
kids
a
watched
question.
it? Sorry.
Yes, they
Karen.
do, and they love it.
Really?
They love
Yes.
this movie. Yeah.
Good.
Do you think that? How do I phrase this? So there's the live action
In Latin,
version
please.
now. Do
Yeah.
you think that affects how kids will like this classic?
Like moving forward.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll give you a good example of this.
Okay.
Okay. We were talking about this guy earlier, Ralph Macchio, one of the greatest.
Ralph Macchiato.
Ralph Macchiato, one of the
Delicious.
greatest action heroes of our time. I currently have the 3 original Karate Kid movies on my iTunes because I love them. I think they're great. And
3.
oh, they're so great. They're so great.
Go ahead.
So I introduced Jack to the original ones, and he couldn't watch them. He thought they were terrible, but he loves the one with Jaden Smith.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
So I think that
So now you know to never trust
Yeah.
his opinion on
on anything, anything about anything ever about anything. So I think it's kind of the same thing where you're going to have people who will like the newer ones because they like the people who or know the people who are in there, or because it's more visually stimulating. And I think that will sour people to this because it's a cartoon, it's a baby thing. But it's not. It's actually a really timeless story about overcoming or even just dealing with adversity.
Next time your kid goes, "Oh, I don't want to watch that, Dad. It's a baby thing." You go, "Well, you're a baby, so watch it. That's why I'm showing it to you, and see what happens." And then he'll go,
Just,
"God,
just
you're
see
right."
what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just see what happens.
Yeah.
As I reached into last week.
All right, Terrence. Good job, dude.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk some Destination D, and let's get a little jazzed here for what's coming to Disneyland and Disney World and possibly beyond. I don't know. You guys ready for this? Where's
Sure.
Taryn going?
I forgot my notes.
You forgot- Taryn forgot her notes. You're not what?
She's not ready.
Ready.
Oh, okay. Well, let's wait. I'll cut this out. It'll be great.
I'm really tired now after just pounding that pizza.
Yeah. Pizza's good stuff, dude.
Who else took notes?
I did.
No, I read them.
I didn't take notes. I have thoughts.
Oh, shit. Wow, watch out.
I
Taryn's
have,
got thoughts.
I have vapors.
I have
I have to write my thoughts down or they flutter away.
Yeah.
like vapors.
I got the vapors. All right, let's talk some Destination D, guys. Let's talk a little bit about Star Wars Land.
That's a terrible name, by the way.
What Destination D?
Destination D.
Yeah, well, it
Yeah, I
is.
thought it was like a
Pretty
travel
bad.
thing.
Yeah,
So
a
did
travel
I.
thing, or like call it Destination Disney. I don't know. How
Yeah.
about that? But D, it sounds very mid '90s, like the cool
Well,
uncle
it's
from.
D23.
Oh, I get it. I mean, I
Oh.
understand it, but I just think it sounds bad.
Yeah. This was their first year, yeah?
Destination D, I don't know
I
that.
think it was. I think it was their premiere year.
Okay.
So again, my favorite thing I found when doing research for this is that everyone still calls it Star Wars Land.
Yeah.
Literally nobody I ever saw called it Guardians of the Galaxy's Edge.
Including the blog that we read.
But I don't know. I think it kind of tells you all you need to know about like where Disney's head is at in terms of understanding their audience. You go to World of Disney, or you go to these things, and you look at the merch, and it's like it seems like it's kind of there, but it's not really what I want. But I'll buy it anyway. And I don't know. To me, that's just like not calling it Star Wars Land, calling it something else entirely different than
Right.
anything else they have. I mean, except for Critter Country, anyway. So they released teasers for the 2 rides they have in Star Wars Land, with the names. Apparently, Smuggler's Run is the Millennium Falcon. 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 Smuggler's Run is the Millennium Falcon.
Which I think that's a pretty good name.
It's fine. I mean, Millennium Falcon.
It gives you an
fits the
idea
lore.
of what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it makes me think of pirates.
Smuggler.
Well,
And
I mean, that's
run
what Han
rhymes
Solo
with
was.
rum. So
Pirates. All right.
Smuggler. Run. Rum. Smugglers. Rum.
pirates. This is how my brain works.
Wow. And then the second one is called Rise of the Resistance.
I like that name.
Really?
I do.
Oh, I hate it so much.
let's
because
go.
because
I
okay,
didn't mind it. I didn't mind it, honestly.
I have a reason why I hate it.
I doubt
Because it doesn't give you any idea of what the ride is.
No.
Like Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, you get that it's that you're gonna ride a train.
a
Star
mountain.
Tours, you get you're going on a tour of something.
That's probably the stars.
Space Mountain
We'll never know. We may never know.
It's a mountain in space.
in space, like exactly. You have at least an inclination of what this is.
But honestly, Space Mountain isn't a mountain
mountain
in space.
space.
You're on a rocket ship flying through space. It has nothing to do with mountains at all.
I know, I'm joking.
Oh, well, that's true. But
Okay, well, everything else. The Tiki Room. You're looking at tikis. The Jungle Cruise.
it makes sense.
You're
You're
cruising
cruising the
through jungles.
jungles.
But
Yeah.
okay, Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance. What does anybody think this ride is going to be like?
But
Is
that's-
it a
You're
roller
probably
coaster?
rising
Is
up
it a-
against a resistance.
No.
How?
No, the
not
resistance is
The
rising.
resistance is
Oh,
rising.
okay.
yeah, they're
sure.
rising up. Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, like what kind of ride is this? That's what I want to know.
But they're doing these kind of flowery, epic things. Like you can't just call it Star Wars Land. It has to be Star Wars Land
No, and that's
Galaxy Edge.
fine, but,
Well,
like-
it also
know?
fits in
but,
with
like,
the lore and
I
everything.
Yeah.
know, I get that, and that part's fine. Just give me an idea of what it is. Like Smuggler's Rum is
Delicious.
So,
like
so
that-
rename it. Rename
Okay.
Smuggler's Run.
Well, I can't because I don't know what the ride is.
You're
That's
in the Millennium
problem.
Falcon and you're escaping.
Falcon's Flight.
Wait, so you're in the Millennium Falcon twice in both rides?
No.
Smuggler's Run is the Millennium Falcon,
Yeah,
which
I
I
like that
believe
one.
the code word was Big Bird, I think is what it was.
It was Albatross. Something like that, yeah.
Same thing. So
Okay.
go ahead, rename it.
I don't want to rename that one. I want to rename this one.
Rise of the Resistance?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the one I don't like.
Rename Rise of the Resistance.
I can't because I don't know what the ride is. That's my point.
Okay, well,
I have no idea. Like, is it like a Toy Story thing where you're fighting each other?
so let's
is
put it this way. It's a ride about the Resistance coming to fight the Empire. Go ahead, rename it.
No, I get that. But I don't think I don't think I'm making my point clear. Like, what
No.
kind of ride? Is it a roller
Yeah.
coaster? Is it a
I think it's
Okay.
probably going to be like Star Tours. Like you're going to be sitting in a thing with the Johns. And
I
you're
don't
gonna
see a roller coaster being in this
be
land.
bouncing.
No, there's no roller.
There's
so,
no way.
So I guess that's my thing is like I want to know from the name whether it's now or in 3 years when I actually go to this place what
Well, Star
Well,
Tours,
well,
there's nothing
yeah,
you don't
you
know.
know you're going on a tour.
But
A
you don't
tour
know.
of the
But you don't
stars.
know what kind.
See?
If
It
it's a
doesn't
roller
matter.
coaster, but it matters with Rise of the Resistance.
No, because you know that
I don't think she's saying that
It's
what
a
you're
t-
that you know exact because Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Yes, you know it's a railroad, but Star Tours, you
By the
know
way,
you know the general
When
concept
was
of
the
what you're going to
last
experience.
time you ever said, "Hey guys, let's get fast passes for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad"?
I don't think I've ever said even the mountain part. It's
Right.
just Big Thunder.
Right.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because
So
Or
okay,
BT
okay,
is
that's
what I
great.
say,
So
but
then what do you
BTM?
shorten this to? Resistance? Stupid.
So the teasers were both shot apparently on the actual ride. I don't even know where that's going. I gotta bail out. I apologize.
teasers. The teasers.
Watch the teaser. Google it. Look it up because the teasers to me, like the Smugglers Run one, is basically just these hands flipping switches and pushing buttons, and it's
Yeah.
supposed to like jazz you up to ride the Millennium
It's
Falcon.
nothing. What is it? It's
I got
nothing.
chills.
No, you did it
Yeah,
because
I
it was
did.
cold.
They're
That's why
multiplying.
you looked over and the window was open. You're like, oh, I gotta
She's
put a sweater
broken.
on.
I
To
didn't
me,
think
it
it
was
was good.
super boring.
It could have been a walkthrough for all. I have no idea like what
could've
am I
been
supposed
Star
to be?
Tours.
Yeah, what am I supposed to be watching right now? What's
Right.
the point?
We're supposed to be watching.
Watching.
And the Rise of
Mazel.
Resistance, you get a little feel for what's going on, but you're like in the base, like on the Star Destroyer, I guess. But for me, all of that stuff was it seemed like over designed.
Dude, if
They were trying too hard
No.
with the environment and how everything was lit, and there's a lot of stuff. and you're trying to look at it, and it just seemed real weird.
I love it. I love the fact that they have something where you're actually on the bridge of a Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, when at the end of it, all of the rebel ships come out of light speed right there.
Yeah.
I was like, yep, that looks amazing.
It was cool.
I
Yeah.
agree. The video made me like it. The name did not.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
Understand
I think to Taryn's point, the trailers would be more impactful with actual clues as to what the rides were. Instead,
Right.
they're relying on setting being enough, and at this point, I don't think it really is. But maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe that's the point. Maybe I'm not getting it. I just everybody wants to know.
The land itself looks super cool. Though.
Yeah, well, and also like with the trailer, give me a little bit of the ride. Give me a little bit. Give me a little bit more than flipping switches. I mean,
Right,
come on.
right,
Are you
right, right.
serious? With Smuggler's Rum, apparently, they release a little more information. There are 3, quote, unique and critical roles that you can be a part of in that ride.
Okay.
Okay, and Alter the Thing, which is kind of cool. And then in Rise of the Resistance, you'll be facing off at some point with Kylo Ren.
Wow.
So we're getting a little bit more information
Okay.
about what these rides actually are, but still not a whole lot about what's going on. And I'm fine with that. I guess if you're going to give me a trailer is what I mean. Give me a little bit more than flipping switches and pushing buttons. Like, I don't care. I've already seen all of that in
Right.
every single Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, what I don't like about when they try to do fluff like trailers like this, like when we complained about the Aladdin one. Like, I've already seen these shots. I don't know. Just give me something more than what we've already seen.
So, if I remember correctly, these rides we think might be closer to like the Harry Potter ride, like
No, because
the pod thing.
I think it'll move like that, but it's not like on a track.
Okay,
Yeah.
Right.
interesting.
Yeah.
So do you think it's going to be
Like more like Star
stationary?
Toursy, yeah.
Like Star Toursy.
I think so.
Which makes me really sad because I don't ride Star Tours because I get motion sickness and it makes me want to throw up every single time. So, I mean, I'm not really looking forward to going to Star Wars Land ever.
But you'll do it.
Well,
You have to.
I will eventually, but
Not for a while.
I probably won't ride the rides.
Oh, you have to do it at least once. Well, you know what? A lot of the rides that they have, like a handicap like section where you like Star Tours has
Non-moving,
that,
yeah.
where you can. It's just you're watching the video of the thing.
It's not even
So you
the
can do
it's
that.
the 3D. Although it doesn't say that these are 3D, so they could be
Yeah,
fine.
I don't know how to help you with that. Apparently, the Play Disney app will be a big part of the Star Wars Land experience.
Is that the app that we used while we were there? That's called Play Disney. Okay.
I think so. No, it's Disneyland app, but maybe the Play. I don't.
No, the
actually
Play
know.
Disney
Play
is
Disney.
the
Separate thing?
I thought the Play Disney was the thing where you play games like
It
in
is.
Okay.
Yeah, is that a different app? I
Yeah,
don't
it's a
know
different
because
app.
I don't.
Oh,
It's a
it
different
is.
app.
Oh.
On my Jitterbug phone, I don't. The one with the big buttons. So, invest in spare batteries while you can, I guess, while they're cheap. Because you're going to be on your phone all the time. I don't know. It's natural. I think it's a natural thing. Like, they really want to push the app, so go for it.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's going to be that you have to do it to take part in the thing.
Right.
But it's an optional thing that's going to be a pretty big part of the story. So, what else are you going to do while you're waiting in line for the cantina?
That's a good point.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it about Star Wars Land. There's not a whole lot. Which it seemed like, for as big as the announcements were sounding,
Yeah.
and how much like pomp that they put into the announcements, there really wasn't a whole lot.
Right. That's true.
It's kind of like fart. It's just there really wasn't a whole lot going on. In Walt Disney World news, there's a new hotel, but I don't care about it.
Wait,
Are
we're
you
not going to
serious?
talk about the
We're-
hotel?
We're glazing over that.
That hotel looks dope.
Let's talk
dude.
about the hotel, guys. Wow.
The hotel
That
looks
thing
dope.
looks amazing.
Go ahead, Taryn. Tell me your real thoughts about it.
It looks
What's it called?
amazing. It's called I just wrote Star Wars Hotel.
I have it right here.
Oh, not the Star Wars hotel, the new
Oh.
hotel in Walt Disney World.
Oh, I did have a note for that. Oh, it looks like a dorm with like a fancy drive up.
I didn't even talk about the
did
Star
I
Wars
miss that?
hotel
There's
because
There's two hotels: the Star Wars Hotel and then the other one, the I almost called it Ridgeway.
the Ridgeway Racers hotel.
The Disney
Yeah.
Riviera Resort.
There we
Yeah.
go.
No, I didn't make any notes on that. And then I didn't even really make notes on the Star Wars hotel because it sounded like there wasn't anything new. We've covered the Star Wars hotel with as much information I think is out there.
I did have a note.
Right?
So I have a little insider information
Oh gosh.
because my company was working with Amazon on a project, and our representative was working with Disney.
Okay.
so Amazon and Disney have some kind of partnership, and from what I read from this Destination D is that there's going to be these BB-8s in the room that
Okay.
potentially are like an Alexa type deal.
No.
And I think that my guess is that you're going to be able to order room service through BB-8.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And I think, and
Using like the Alexa technology.
Instead of
yeah.
calling it Alexa, you call it BB-8.
yeah, and that's something that Amazon has not done, and they told us that we could not do at my company,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not Disney. And I think that because Disney does have an Alexa machine that is shaped like Mickey Mouse, so they have a partnership.
They do?
Yeah. I have a feeling
That's cool.
that's what this is going to be. I think you're going to be able to go, BB-8, can I get, extra
4
towels?
sodas. Yeah.
That's nice.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's my guess, and I think I'm right.
No one's ever gone, that's my guess, and I think I'm wrong. But, I mean, what information do you have on the hotels that we haven't covered? It's all the same, right?
Just a different picture of the room.
Just a picture, yeah.
But I think it's the same picture, just the people are looking out the window now. Like,
Well, okay.
nothing about it.
Well, we
And
were
there's
talking
bunk
about this
beds.
earlier. Like, there's this presents a lot of questions.
Oh, yeah.
So the window's a screen.
Yeah, the window's a screen.
So does that mean there's no window in the room?
Well, I think so. But I don't know that. But when we went to, did we talk about going to Imagineering when we were there? The last show?
No, I don't think we did.
So we went to
I don't know.
Imagineering just to go to Mickey's of Glendale because we have a friend who, anyway. And so we just went through, it got brighter in the
I
corner
literally
over there.
just saw the light bulb come on above Taryn's head.
We went through this corridor in the buildings to get outside, and it was like it looked like the monorail, like an inside of a monorail, and they had these super brilliant, super clear, like high def HD 4K screens that were playing like animation of like like landscape going by or whatever. To be honest with you, I don't think we were supposed to be there, so we kind of just hustled through it. But my thought is that that's what's going to be in the windows of Star Wars Land Hotel, is the screen, and they
Yeah.
look amazing.
They are better than any TV you've ever seen.
Any TV you've
However-
ever seen.
I just got
Terrence.
motion sick just thinking
However,
about that.
so that's what we were
And
talking
that's
about earlier. So if you're so here's another question. There's so many questions. If your hotel room doesn't have a window, what does the outside of the building look like?
And
A
how's that going
peanut?
to work with
Peanut.
claustrophobia?
Why is it a peanut?
Because it's a shell.
Thank you.
Oh my god!
I got you, boo.
here.
I have peanut allergies just from that stupid joke. Oh, I want to go home.
You are home.
Oh no!
That one
And
just came
also,
to me
like-
real fast too.
Yeah,
That's pretty good,
You
isn't
should have
it?
ducked.
So these room, they show this
room.
giant king size bed,
Yeah,
but I don't understand it. Are there sleeping bags rolled up at the foot?
I didn't get that either.
they're like little blankets,
Like,
probably, or it's just
you-
set dressing. I don't know. But that's what I don't know. I didn't think that there was enough information to really talk about it because, like I said, it's already been talked about.
Based on the photo, though, I really want to stay there.
Of course.
It's going to be $800 a night,
Of
but
course.
I really want to stay there.
But you have more of a chance of staying there than you do going to Star Wars Land. Like
It's
it's gonna be booked for years.
Is that
Right.
going to be? That's Disney World.
Yes, Disney World connected
Okay.
to Star Wars Land.
Got it.
Yeah. So in Epcot, there's going to be a new show debuting in 2020, but I don't know what it's going to be called. I don't think that they released a name for it. But here's the description that the Disney Parks blog gives. Quote, the new nighttime spectacular will celebrate how Disney music inspires people around the world and will feature massive floating set pieces, custom-built LED panels, choreographed moving fountains, lights, pyrotechnics, and lasers. I'm sure visually it will be cool, but the theme is how Disney music inspires people
yeah.
around the world.
Well, you know,
It's kind of strange.
I mean, that's kind of the theme now with Illuminations. I mean, it's kind of the same. So
Is it?
this is the note I made. So, you know, Jeremy's like crying himself to sleep every night because
Oh, yeah.
Illuminations is
He
going
hugs
away.
his boxed wine and
Yeah,
holds
he's-
his run medals.
Yeah, he's run the stores out of boxed wine over this thing. But based on that description, I think he's gonna end up loving it.
Oh
think
my
so, too.
gosh, totally.
Because one thing that I read was like there's gonna be like throwback music, like
Well, that's the interim show.
oh,
Hive mind speaks again. Yeah. So, but I mean, imagine in the description,
I missed that too.
You're bragging about custom built LED.
Yeah,
it
I
just
know.
seems really weird. It also seems like it's going to be World of Color.
It
Like
does
that
seem
kind of
very World of
technology,
Colory.
which I hope that they've cleaned up since
Right.
then, because World of Color breaks all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Still broken.
It could be cool. It sounds like it's going to be very, very epic, and I think it'll be great, of course, because Disney does really well with that. I just like jabbing a little bit at their descriptions, because I think they try too hard with their descriptions,
Right.
and then it's like how Disney music inspires people. Can you give me something else other than how Disney music inspires people?
Right.
So there's that. And that opens in 2020. But in the meantime, there'll be a limited run of something called Epcot Forever. Quote, "We'll begin with a spark of imagination that swells into an epic spectacle of fireworks, music, lighting, lasers, and special effects kites."
Yeah, I noted that.
What did that mean?
Could that be like the drone thing?
Maybe.
I think this is going to be awesome.
So that will feature classic Epcot tunes. So that will definitely drain Jeremy's box wine. That'll get him going. And that's, I think, all anybody really wants out of these nighttime shows. They want nostalgia. As human beings,
Yeah.
we love nostalgia. So I think, in my opinion, means nothing. They're doing a disservice by giving people what they really want, and then taking it away for something that pats themselves on the back as, look at how we inspire people.
Yeah, I agree.
To me, that should be reversed. Like, this is Epcot. It kind of survives on nostalgia, I think.
Mm-hmm.
People go there for Spaceship Earth. People go there for Mission to Mars with Gary Sinus.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. They don't want. I don't know. I feel like people don't want that.
Well, and that's true. And also, like, it would make Disney as a company, their job so much easier if they would just accept this, because the work's already done.
Yeah.
Work's already done, dude. Come on, let's go already. Speaking of the work already being done, I don't know. The France Pavilion at Epcot will see a Ratatouille ride. They've announced that a little bit, but not much. Go ahead.
I didn't realize when they had announced it, and I think we talked about it before, that it's an e-ticket ride. Like, that sounds kind of major.
Oh yeah, it's a whole thing, man. Because I don't
thought-
think the France Pavilion really has much.
Well, but it's not that. I mean, is it big enough for like an e-ticket ride? It seems
It must be.
that struck me as kind of weird.
Yeah. The ride's called Remy's Ratatouille Adventure.
Love it. He's going on an adventure.
Yeah, but it sounds
But
like
is it
needs,
a roller coaster?
It sounds like it. I put it in my notes. It sounds like it needs more pepper already, which is a layered. It just sounds really bland. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. I don't know. Can you imagine like Sully's Monsters Inc. Adventure?
I think it's supposed to be pretty much like the one that they already have
In France.
in France, where it's a trackless ride. So it's a trackless
Oh,
ride, and you're
good.
basically
Those always end up doing great.
so it's a trackless ride, and you're basically and in the role of Remy going through the kitchen. So you're going underneath this,
Oh, that's
underneath
cute.
the ovens and everything like that. I think that's supposed to be.
Do you think that's an e-ticket?
No, I wouldn't say like compared against other stuff, but maybe because of where it is, it would be e-ticket.
Interesting.
All right, skeptical Taryn is skeptical.
Yeah,
Well, it's no Luigi's Dancing Automobiles.
we went on that last
Oh
time
my
we were
gosh.
there.
Yeah.
Jack was like, "This is terrible." Dad. and Frankie, my 3-year-old, didn't even like it.
Wow.
When we
This
were
is
there,
bad.
I asked Sam. I was like, "Hey, you want to go?" And I didn't even have to finish. He was like, "I was like, hey, you want to?" He was, "No." I was like, "You don't know what I'm going to say. We're not going on those stupid cars."
We're not going to stupid cars, Bev. The area France Pavilion will also see a new Beauty and the Beast sing-along show. And that's kind of
like
all the
that.
information. Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. It's based on
Yeah.
live action. I think it has like the art director and the director of the live action doing the.
That's good.
So it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Good songs in that movie too.
Yeah, that you want to sing along to. That's
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Disney's Hollywood Studios is getting a new nighttime show called The Wonderful World of Animation. The show will use state-of-the-art projection technology to take guests on a magical journey through more than 90 years of Disney animation, all beginning with Mickey himself. That's from the Disney Parks blog. From the looks of it, it's going to be like World of Color also, I
Yep.
guess. A lot of projection and whatever. So that's cool. If you're a Disney Hollywood Studios person, that place needs a lot of love. That's where the
Yeah.
Great Movie Ride was kind of going, but Toy Story Land is there, Star Wars, the whole thing. So it's that place is all weird.
Toy Story. That's new, right? Toy Story Land.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
brand
it
new.
is.
Experience Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and also at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and coming soon to DCA. Not soon, but whatever.
But yeah.
We talked about that last year, I think, when it was announced. But here's the description. Imagineers have been hard at work creating Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at Hollywood Studios using breakthrough technology to transform a two-dimensional cartoon into an amazing real-world experience. The first ever ride-through attraction themed to Mickey Mouse will feature a new original story and lovable theme song as it takes guests on a journey inside the wacky and unpredictable world of Disney Channel's Emmy Award-winning Mickey Mouse cartoon show. There you go. Again,
Yeah.
not a whole
Well,
lot.
at least we know what it is.
Right. From January 18th to September 30th, 2019, Mickey and Minnie's Surprise Celebration will feature new food, merchandise, and entertainment, including a new dance party with Mickey, Minnie, and their friends. And that's all happening at the Magic Kingdom Park. So
Is that a parade? What is that?
I think it's a parade, yeah.
Okay.
Mickey and Minnie's Surprise Celebration. Why is it a
It sounds
surprise
like a
celebration?
mad tea party to me.
Yeah.
But why is it a surprise? First of all, is it a surprise if it runs most of the year?
Right.
Every day at 6 p.m.
The festivities will continue at the Disneyland Resort with something called Get Your Ears On, which I was like, wait a minute. Keep your ears up. Get your ears on.
Somebody's listening.
I'm going to sue them. I'm kidding. Get Your Ears On, a Mickey and Minnie celebration, which apparently is different than Mickey and Minnie's Surprise Celebration.
Oh my gosh.
It's weird. Which will feature new entertainment, food, and merchandise. On January 18th, Mickey's Mix Magic
Oh
will
gosh.
light up the night at Disneyland Park with all new music, projections, and lasers that set the scene for an epic dance party that takes over almost the entire park.
Okay, so that's the mad tea party. Sorry, I
yeah.
confused the two.
They're bringing EDM, electric dance music, into the norm.
Annoying.
That's so terrible.
I know. Again, it's like we're the early 2000s.
Yeah. Is Eisner back?
The party will get even bigger when the fan favorite Mickey's Soundsational Parade returns in January 2019, featuring a new float with Mickey himself, who will lead the celebration down Main Street. So there you go, you Mickey Soundsational people. That's what's happening. And that's all I had that I think was really noteworthy from Destination D.
They did show a picture, and maybe we'd seen this before, but of the new Disney Skyliner, one of the vehicles.
Yes, right.
And some people thought it was so cool looking. I thought it looked so cheesy.
I think it looks.
ugly.
I think it looks cool, and I have a news article for it. But the only reason I wanted to talk about it was because people were like, "Well, is it going to have air conditioning? Because it's in Florida, and you're in a box,
Yeah.
and that sucks." And the answer is no. It's going to have something called passive air. What is it? Passive, not passive air conditioning, but like passive ventilation, which is a window. They're going to have windows, but they call it passive ventilation. It's like what?
Why?
What's going
Is that
on?
what these little slats are?
That's
They're
what the
just
little slat. You can pop those little slats. You're gonna bake in that thing, dude. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
bad.
It's gonna happen. But also, how can you air condition it? They have to enclose it because people were throwing stuff over the side.
Right.
So you can't do that anymore.
Because people suck.
'Cause people
Crazy.
kind of are
suck.
crazy. You guys want to do some Disney news?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do some Disney news here. I don't have the song. Do I have the song? Don't worry, guys. I'll cut this out. I really will, though.
I have some feedback as well. I wasn't here
Oh,
for.
I forgot about that. All right, we'll do feedback later. Remind me, though, okay?
Okay.
Here we go.
March in the past, present, and future with all the news that's fit to cover. It's the Ears Up Disney News.
The Ears Up Disney News. God bless Radio Answer, man. Let's talk the Lion King trailer, bros. Did y'all see that?
Bull crap. This is why. Oh, I'll get into it in a minute. No.
All right, Here we go. The Lion King teaser trailer broke a record for Disney. It was viewed nearly 225 million times
gosh.
within 24 hours.
That's crazy.
Yeah, which is crazy. And then it, of course, sparked a debate, which I didn't even really catch on, that you can you call that live action?
It's not.
It's not live
And
action?
That's my. It is not.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not. I want to see. I want to see Simba. I want to see Donald Glover and Beyonce in like lion costumes for it to be live action, because this is not live action. This is all CGI.
They should
Yeah.
have just called it what it is. It's a reboot.
It's a remake.
Right.
It's still animated.
Right.
It's just animated differently, and there's a lot of talk online. Film critics, for whatever that's even worth, that it's just it's actually worse than the original because there's no personality to the animations. It's just real life. It's realistic, but that's not why people go to animations and go to movies in the first place. It's like, oh, we're going to see a baboon hold a lion cub, and it's
Right.
really just playing on the nostalgia factor. But as far as animation, the original is superior in that regard.
Exactly.
The Lion King, this one is better, quote unquote, because of technology, because it looks more realistic. But is that really?
Well,
Does that do anything for the story?
It goes right back to what I said earlier. Sorry, it goes right back to what I said earlier with Cinderella, is that so often people rely on the visual to carry the story instead of having the visual be something that's supplemental. And it's not. This is the problem with the storytelling of Disney lately, is that they're all about the visual.
I don't know. I think that this. I
Well,
don't
we
think
just told you. You're wrong,
I
Tara.
don't think I agree with whoever you said that.
People.
I don't think I agree with that because the characters they look more realistic there because they're created, they're animated as like more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still going to the storyline. I assume is still going to be the same. So you're going to have Simba and Nala rolling around and kind of like having this friendship and then falling in love. You're going to have all of that still. So
Yeah, but you've already seen it.
so
It's like almost shot for shot, kind of the same.
I'm
So,
okay.
But why?
Because I'm excited to see it again new. I don't know. This is like the first time I've been excited about one of these quote
Okay.
unquote live actions.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. But that is a good debate. It's a good question. Is it live action? It's not live
No.
action. I think it'd be cool if they did like like Romeo and Juliet, when they kind of rebooted Romeo and Juliet and made it more modern. But like Donald Glover just as a human being. Like make it like with humans.
I think
Nope.
it gets a little dicey.
It would.
I was like,
I don't know. I've actually never seen The Lion King all the way through. So
are you kidding me?
I'm a huge Disney fan. Did you guys not hear the Homeward Bound
What's up with
podcast or
your
whatever?
boy?
Super fan.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe you should go back to the park
You said Homeward Bound.
where you spend a lot of time.
I spend all my waking hours driving back and forth.
Jeez.
Speaking of things that are gross, this is from some dumb website. I don't even want to advertise for it because it's written very poorly. Apparently, Disney World in the Magic Kingdom, in its New Orleans themed restaurant called Sasagula Floatworks and Food Factory. That's the name of a thing.
Okay.
Sasagula Floatworks.
And Food Factory.
That's terrible.
That's really bad.
For $15, well, $14.99, you can buy a beignet burger.
Is that just like a Monte Cristo on crack?
It's a burger topped with cheese, bacon, jam, pickled onions, and pickles,
Bacon jam's my
Ew.
jam.
and is stuffed between two beignets as buns. It also comes with fries.
Thank God.
And a side order of death.
Right. Well, here's the photo. If you guys can see it, I can't twist my. Well, maybe I can.
That's gross.
See it?
That's nasty.
Look at those fries. Are those the most unappealing, unattractive? They're almost like steak fries,
Those
but
are
they
huge
look
steak fries.
they look almost translucent.
But they
Like
also
it's-
look undercooked.
right. That's what I mean. It just looks kind of nasty. But
Yeah.
a beignet burger.
It
That's
looks like a
straight
Monte
gross.
Cristo.
What y'all doing to me?
Kind of.
I want powdered sugar on my burger,
I
though.
know.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
They're trying to
me.
do that like savory thing, but it's sweet
sweet
savory, but it's
savory.
not. I don't know. God bless. If you go and you try the beignet burger, please let me know how it is.
Heather.
Well,
You
Disney
fly
World,
fly to
all right.
Disney World.
I kind of would try it.
I would never try it. Maybe I would go in like if we were all going.
I'd
I
take
would
a
like
bite.
I would cut it in eighths, and
Yeah, I'd take a bite, but
Well,
I
yeah.
wouldn't order it.
No, I wouldn't
No,
order.
I
I
wouldn't
mean,
order either,
no.
I wonder who thought that was a good idea. Maybe it sounds great for some people. I don't know.
Whoever they are, I think they're really big.
This is from the Daily Mail. It says Disneyland Paris might double its visitor capacity and build a third theme park by 2030.
Wow.
Ooh.
How do they plan on doing that?
I know, right?
Just curious.
It was announced earlier this year that the French resort was to receive a $2 billion investment. It will see an extension to the theme park featuring Marvel, Frozen, and Star Wars attractions.
Oh.
Is Frozen going to even be relevant in 2030?
There's going to be a second one. So, yeah.
Yeah, but 2030?
Well,
That's
true.
12 years from
Yeah,
now.
that's a long time from now.
I don't know. And now the Telegraph has revealed that a consultation report for the development site has shown that its objective by 2030 is to double theme park visitor capacity by opening new attractions in the 2 existing parks and potentially building a 3rd theme park. Crazy. So you Disneyland Paris fans,
Parents?
yeah, watch out for that 3rd theme park, dude. That'll be really interesting if that happens.
Yeah.
That's going to take a lot.
Yeah.
That's going to
But
take
if they have $2
ton.
billion to work with.
Right? This is pretty cool. Disney is launching a Star Wars YouTube channel for kids. And it's kicking it off with a new show called Star Wars Galaxy of Adventures, which to me sounds like a much better land than Guardian's Edge.
You're gonna get it one of these days.
What is
Maybe.
it? Galaxy Edge?
Galaxy's Edge.
They shouldn't have Galaxy and then Guardians of the Galaxy. It's confusing.
Because then you have
You have dummies
That's
like
dummy.
me going Guardians of the Galaxy's Edge. Going to the edge of the Guardians of the Galaxy. A new Star Wars Galaxy of Adventures animated series is set to debut on November 30th on the Star Wars Kids YouTube channel. Disney and Lucasfilm announced Wednesday. Additional episodes featuring fan favorite characters will debut later in December and then on a weekly basis starting in 2019. The series of animated shorts is designed to introduce Star Wars to a new generation of young fans. A trailer posted on Wednesday features Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Chewbacca, R2-D2, C-3PO, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Vader, and more. The first 6 shorts combine original dialogue, music, and what?
You sound like a spam email
yeah,
right now.
it really does.
Please send me 10,000 Blook blocks wrapped in brown paper. Original dialogue, music, and sound effects with bold new animations and fun and educational add-ons designed to help older fans, parents, and other mentors to welcome the kids in their lives to explore the galaxy far, far away. What in the holy heck is going on in this YouTube channel? Do we need educational add-ons? Does everything have to be educational?
No.
Yes.
Oh, damn.
There you go.
Anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. So check that out, you YouTube people. Which story should I do? This is a good one. Dick Van Dyke paid Walt Disney for a second role in Mary Poppins.
What?
Aw.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
They made Dick Van Dyke pay?
His role as a lovable chimney sweep with a questionable Cockney accent has entertained audiences watching Mary Poppins for years, but Dick Van Dyke has revealed he was so intent on playing a second part in the much-loved movie, he ended up paying Walt Disney for the privilege. He also he played Bert, of course, but he also played Mr. Daways Sr.
Yeah.
Dawes?
The
Daways?
president of the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the role, which saw him caked up in makeup to appear much older, didn't come easily, and the actor has revealed that he had to persuade Walt to give it to him, eventually offering money in return for the part. He said, excuse me, I had to go to Walt and ask him for the part. He wouldn't give it to me. I said, I'll do it for nothing. Actually, I had to give him $4,000. I paid him to do the
Wow.
part.
Holy.
But he says he has no regrets, and he said he would do it again.
I actually didn't know that was Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah?
I
Really?
didn't either.
I don't know. I've
Yeah.
never seen it.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh
kidding.
my
I'm
gosh.
Kidding. I'm kidding. But I didn't.
I was about to break that Stein over your head.
Stein.
Stein.
I'm very into proper pronunciation. Apparently, he received a BAFTA, which is like a British Emmy, I guess, or whatever, for excellency in television. And he apologized for his accent.
Oh, that's funny.
Addressing
Oh,
the
that's
crowd, he
cute.
said, I appreciate this opportunity to apologize to the members of BAFTA for inflicting on them the most atrocious Cockney accent in the history of cinema.
He ain't
Oh,
wrong.
that's really cute.
I think
I
he's
love
adorable.
him. I know.
I think him and Tom Hanks need to somehow combine DNA and have a child.
And make a baby.
And have like an ultimate acting nice guy child.
Oh,
Yeah.
And have Donald Glover raise it.
that would be a weird.
Because I think Donald
Weird.
Glover's super nice. I think he comes off as like a nice dude.
I think he's nice.
Yeah. Speaking of nice, actually,
Not speaking of nice.
Let's go kind of mean, and then we'll go nice. We've talked about this before when this company kind of launched, but apparently they're out. You can now rent a spaceship stroller for your next Walt Disney World trip.
What?
Parents who are looking to make their child's next visit to a Disney park, here, look at this photo.
I want someone punched in the face for that.
A trip they won't forget can now have their youngsters feel like they've stepped into a galaxy far, far away thanks to the new spaceship stroller.
No.
It draws inspiration from the Millennium Falcon. I almost said Millennial Falcon.
Millennial Falcon.
Probably.
The Millennial Falcon cockpit with hexagonal windows and a panel complete with a spaceship-style steering wheel and a set of switches that makes you feel like you're in the trailer for the new Smuggler's Run. No, I'm kidding. That kick off sound and lighting effects to make children feel like they're blasting off to another planet. There's sound effects.
The dumbest thing
Because
I've ever
you're not
heard.
at Disneyland already.
Well, I know, right? They're the people who do the buggy from Cinderella that looks like a pumpkin. You can rent that for your spoiled brat.
Jeez.
I'm sorry, but if
I
you,
think that's kind of cute, but I would never do it.
I hope it gets ganked. If you take that and you rent that, I hope someone steals it from you. I'm
For
sorry.
sure. Well, because especially the Cinderella one. Like, look at this. It's so big and bulbous and
Bro.
bulky. Like, why would you?
I'm not moving for you.
It's
If you're
super
pushing that, I am not moving for you. I'm sorry.
That's worse than the wagons.
Dude,
Oh, the wagon.
We saw so
we
many
did
wagons.
not talk about that
Right.
last time.
How much? Okay, how for the Starship one? How much would you pay for an 8-hour rental? I mean, not how much would you pay
Nothing.
because you're saying, but how much would you expect an 8-hour rental to cost?
Like $200 maybe.
8-hour stroller rental.
Well, I think when you rent,
Just throw a number out there.
well, there are stroller rental companies, and they charge like $12 a day. So I'm gonna say, for a day,
For 8 hours, not even a day, right? Like,
it's probably high. So I'm gonna say 150.
I was going to say 150.
$132. So there you go. Hey, look, it's a value for
insane.
you two.
No.
It's stupid.
Yeah, apparently, well, see, an 8-hour rental is priced at $132, while the Spaceship Surprise Package, which is $241 for 8 hours, includes delivery of the stroller to your resort, a red carpet rollout,
Oh, my God.
themed music, and escorted transportation via a Benzo, a
Are you
Mercedes-Benz
kidding
Sprinter
me?
van, to the designated drop-off location near the entrance of your preferred Disney park.
Yeah, you get dropped off near the entrance.
That is this whole thing is like the most bougie thing I can think of. Like the only people who are ever gonna do this are like Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Are like rich
Yeah.
elitists.
Well, also, for me, it's, I mean, look, if you have the money, whatever. I mean, you're going to Disney World for X number of days. It doesn't matter, right? At that point, you spend a couple
I
extra
hope
$100
that
bucks.
thing is the hardest to push ever.
Well-
Like I hope it's the biggest pain in the ass.
For me, I think it's more of just like you're in a tight space with a bunch of people. You have a stroller, which people are already you have to manage very
Right.
properly. There's a lot of strollers, and you're pushing this like basically beacon of like, hey,
Yeah.
here's the stroller I'm walking through. It's bulky.
Look at me, I'm rich.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's too much, man.
It's too
I
much.
don't know.
You're doing too much.
You're doing too much, kid. Okay, last part of the news here, and then we'll go and take a break, and then we'll do the Secret Show later. Toy Story 4 graphic novel anthology announced by the company called Dark Horse, which I'm pretty excited about. This week, Dark Horse Comics announced that the next chapter of its partnership with Pixar will consist of a graphic novel anthology focused on the characters in the world of Toy Story. The anthology novel will serve as a companion. Sorry, my real alien voice came out for a second. I need to drink more Bleeblob juice from my home world. The anthology novel will serve as a companion to Toy Story 4 ahead of its release. Dark Horse is releasing its Toy Story 4 anthology on May 7th, 2019, and will retail for $11.
Nice.
So that's kind of cool. I like Toy Story getting a little bit of a comic book spin. I think it's pretty cool.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. Cool. And if you get a chance, there's a trailer for Toy Story 4 that's pretty good, honestly. And I kind of want to play it.
Is it the one with Key and Peele?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bomb, dude.
It's good, but it's a minute and a half, and I don't know if it's going to come across without.
Just look.
It's very
look it up.
it's very visual in my opinion. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Google Toy Story 4 trailer.
Here, I'll put it on the
Key and Peele or
I'll put it
whatever.
on the Facebook page.
All right. It's pretty good. I'm
It's
pretty
hilarious.
excited about. I'm pretty good.
I guess I should probably watch Toy Story 2 and 3.
Oh,
Toy Story 2 was cool. Toy Story 3 was dope. Toy Story 3 was real
grab
It
your
was
tissues.
amazing.
good. Yeah, because
I've heard that.
the Ken doll in Toy Story 3
Amazing.
we just called Schumann the entire time.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
Oh,
it's a very inside joke. I
gosh.
apologize for people listening who go, what's going on?
What's a Schumann?
Nobody really
Exactly.
knows.
No
Good
one
question.
To be honest. Tom Hanks, who played Woody in every Toy Story film to date, has said the final scenes of the movie were so emotional
Aw.
that he couldn't fast the crew when recording them. I don't know, face the crew, I think is probably what it says. Quote, it was the first time that we were going to be recording the end of the movie, and Toy Story 4 is going to have an impactful ending, Hank said. The way you record Toy Story, you're in a room with the team that has created it. When I went in for my last day of recording, I wanted to have my back to them because usually you're facing him so he can look right up at you and you can talk about it.
Aw. He is such a nice person.
I think he's like I think he should be a nice
He's a
guy.
nice man.
And I read a thing, and I think it might be a rumor, I don't know. They're doing a live action Pinocchio. I read that Tom Hanks would be playing Geppetto. I think that might be a rumor,
Aw.
but I would be super into it. It depends on his German accent. I don't know.
True.
That's it.
Feedback.
We're done. Oh, feedback. See? Thank you, Taryn.
You're
Go
welcome.
ahead, Taryn. Let's do some feedback if you can, if you're ready. I mean, I don't know.
I am ready, and
Let's go.
there's a good one today. This one is from Doug. He says, "Hey all, hi Bev.
Hey.
Oh, you really are switching it up.
Hello.
Oh, I'm going to use that.
Just wanted to
Don't
drop
use that.
just wanted to drop a line and say what a great show this is.
Huh.
I started listening a few months ago in preparation for a family trip to the parks in early October. We'd been to Disneyland several times before, but we always seem to be doing the exact same things every time. So I thought I'd look around for a podcast to give me some fresh ideas to try. Your podcast was the first I tried because it was the only one I could listen to through my employer's firewall. But it worked out great, and I started to listen.
That's us, based in Russia. We will get through your employee employee firewall.
So for the first few minutes, I was sort of annoyed by all the banter, thinking, let's get to the topic already.
Yeah,
But
same. To be honest with you,
but a couple more minutes in, and I was hooked. I listened to many episodes before the trip, and it was a great help. Plus, I was able to become the Disneyland version of Cliff Clavin for a couple of days by regaling the family with all kinds of facts and historical tidbits that I learned from the podcast.
That's
hell yeah,
Amazing.
let's go.
All while they collectively rolled their eyes. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice.
It
I'm
made-
now sleeping on the couch of my brother's house.
and I can never go to Disneyland again.
Right.
It made an already fun trip that much more fun, interesting, and stress-free. The show is fantastic. All of the personalities work so great together, and the sincerity and passion for the parks really comes through. I love the honest opinions, and I don't agree with everything, of course, like all the absurd dissing of Star Wars, Marvel, and Dole Whip.
Honestly, I don't want you to agree with everything.
Yeah.
I don't want people to agree with everything that we say. I think that'd be
Yeah.
super, super boring.
You don't have to
Totally.
worry about that.
Yeah.
Well, and he says, but it's
I
okay.
don't even agree.
He says, but it's okay if you guys are just flat out wrong sometimes.
That's true.
It's all good.
That's true. You're absolutely right.
I've been listening from our. I've been back from our trip. I know. Gee.
Remix.
I literally just made up a whole sentence. I've been back from our trip for almost 2 months now, with no Disney trips on the horizon, and I'm still listening and now enjoying the Secret Show as well.
Oh,
That a boy.
Thank you.
well, thank you very much.
Keep up the great work, Doug.
Hey.
You can find it for free on torrent sites across the.
P.S. Despite listening to the podcast before the trip, I managed to miss out on eating a churro,
Bro.
and I've still never had one at Disneyland.
Are you kidding me?
I have shame.
Cone of shame.
Shame.
Churro cone of shame.
Shame.
I will throw my fist at it. Dude, churros are the greatest treat under $5. Soon to probably be over.
Barely.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, they're $5.25 now.
No.
Yeah.
$4.75.
Yeah,
No.
Really?
We bought
No.
them the week before. You were there, and they were $4.75.
It was $5.25 when I went because they have the special ones. And so if you
Well,
want
who
to
gets
get
the special
I'm-
ones, dude?
you were the one asking me to get the special ones, dude.
Oh,
yeah, but
that
you said you
is
weren't
true.
going to do it.
No, I actually tried one. I tried the red. There was one like red and green by Haunted Mansion. I tried the red one, and it just tasted like red.
What was it supposed to taste like?
I don't
Tastes
know.
like red.
Red
It tastes
dye
like
number
Isn't
red.
it just like sprinkles?
It's just sprinkles of
sugar.
red, like sprinkles of red and green. And then my niece tried one that was like had crumbled Oreos on it, and that
Oh,
was terrible
That
as
sounds
well.
kind of good.
No, that was terrible as
Oreos are good.
well. Oh no!
Well, you're not
I hate
wrong.
Oreos.
Shame.
No,
Shame.
You and the guy who sent the feedback should hang out.
Doug.
Yeah.
I got you, Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You dig Doug?
I dig Doug. I remember
Best
that
game ever, dude.
I love Dig Doug.
Is that
Oh
it for
my
feedback,
gosh.
Taryn?
That's all.
All right. All right, well, we're out of here, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning into the show. Thank you to GetawayToday.com for sponsoring today's episode. Whether you're traveling to Disneyland, Disney World, or beyond, head over to GetawayToday.com/earsup. Definitely get you the best prices on tickets and hotel rooms, even beyond Disneyland. So don't worry about it. It'll be great. Our next show is in a couple of weeks, I think, in December. And then after that is...
No, we have no more in December. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
December
thinking it's
13th.
already. I am so broken.
I got you.
I don't
got
even know
you.
Our
what
next
day
show
it
is December 13th,
December
proper.
13th.
So our next show is with Garner Holt.
Yes, it is.
God, I'm already
Oh,
nervous
boy.
about
It's
it.
gonna be bomb, dude.
I'm already nervous about it. I can't wait. That's
Can't
mean-
wait to talk to Holt.
With a name like that, with a name like, well, Garner
Garner Holt.
Holt. That's a strong name.
Broke my ears.
Oh my God.
get.
All right, Ben. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody, for
Keep your
listening
ears
to
on.
this show. And unless you're Bev, keep your ears up or something.